Exiles from Portal, joined once again by Casper. That was
Hey,
an interesting
hey.
hello. The bling.
No, I'm trying to pull up my audio, making sure that everything on our end is solid.
Oh, got
Uh,
you.
it's been a couple days. It's been a couple weeks since I've last did this, making
Yeah,
sure
it
everything's good.
has. Yeah, I haven't bothered too much. Not I've been absorbing some information. Um,
I
real life is interesting right now. With everything, quite just literally everything. So
I mean the
we do what we
world
can.
is burning on fire, and I don't want
Yeah,
to go down that route.
yeah.
I'm sure a lot of you
This
are
isn't
probably sick of hearing everything that's going on, but
So
fuck.
let's escape into some video game controversy.
Which is like that's the irony about all this, right? Is like when you're trying to, oh, let me see what's on Reddit. What dumb shit is on Reddit? What dumb shit is on going on with my favorite game? And then you fucking like that shit start like you stop playing for like 3 days because family shit or just responsibilities, you gotta work. And then that shit starts blowing up. People start getting banned left and right. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like I stopped playing for fucking 2 hours and like the whole shit just blows up.
Yeah, I find it interesting because when all of this started happening, uh, I always knew that TFT had like some controversy, but I never like went like super duper into it. And I still recommended the tool. And at this point, I don't know
Yeah,
if
we
I'm on
have.
that boat anymore.
But
I'm
here's the
really
problem, and the reason why I wanted to bring this up, and it so okay. So I look at this in two ways. I'm not a tabloid. I don't want to be a tabloid, meaning like when some dumb shit is happening, we quickly make like 3 or 4 episodes and like just feed off the
well,
hype.
but no, well, no. That's actually the reason why I do want to cover this thing because I don't think this is a tabloid thing. This is something that actually affects
Okay,
any
but you
of
know
the
that
top 5%
that
of
like hot
players.
pressing news of like trying to cover shit as soon as things is happening without having a full
Right, but
breath of
but
details.
even then we're late. Like
Oh no, we're fucking super late. Yeah, but that's
right.
okay because
So
I don't want to talk. I want to talk more of the greater issue than the issue itself. If that makes sense.
I want to I my main thing about all of this obviously is just how it affects the game and
Yeah.
how it's going to affect trading in the future.
Well, how are they
Uh
gonna do it with Path Two?
that is also a really good question. I could have swore I saw something about trading in Path 2,
There's an interview
but
coming up with Scissorin.
is
I
there?
wonder if that's gonna be addressed.
At this point I think it has to be.
With Jonathan Rogers, which I believe is isn't he the
Yeah, he's the director of Path 2, I think.
yeah, so it might come up. It might come up because I know Sis in the past has brought up like relevant data, unless they brought it up behind closed doors and they were like, "We staying the fuck away from that. We not do not bring that shit up," which they
Well,
may abide by.
well, yeah, you know, nobody wants to put themselves in a place where they're not welcome at ExileCon.
Fuck yeah,
Like,
right.
you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
your whole
let's
livelihood is
be,
that. You know what I mean?
yeah. It makes perfect sense why you would want to maintain good terms with anybody that you're partnered with, or dude, even if we were to talk to GGG and they would be like, hey, but, like, stay away from the subject. I might have a question or two of why. Like, I feel like this needs to be addressed, but I guess I would have to, right? I would still, there's still a bunch of shit I would rather talk to Chris Wilson about. Like, that doesn't invalidate other shit that I would rather talk about just
Yeah,
because I can't talk about one thing.
yeah.
So, like, but I
So
feel like
so I guess let's break it down. What the fuck are we talking about?
so a pretty big name in the community got banned from
Are
from
we
TFT.
naming people? By
No,
the way, no. Okay,
no.
I figured we wasn't going to, but it's such a big controversy. To me, it didn't really matter either way. But yeah, I agree.
Right.
I'm in agreement.
Like, I think this is all
Names don't really care.
roughly, it doesn't matter, yeah, because
Yeah.
this has been, as you look into the subject, this is not necessarily an isolated incident, and there has been a lot of claims of abuse of power from the TFT, bullying people into selling items or lowering or raising their prices, and a lot of RMT accusations, which to a
RNT
degree
stands for
make
what?
real money trade.
Okay.
So a lot of those kinds of accusations, and then someone, I believe, if I'm not incorrect, got banned because they told a prominent member of the TFT, like one of the organizers, like, "Yo, I'm not gonna sell this item to you," and he was just like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And then they fucking banned him from the TFT. And the
Now I
thing
heard
is
something
like,
different. I saw something different.
okay,
What I saw was, as a result of not being sold that item, the person then turned around and doxed them live on
oh, was
live
it
on
a
stream.
doxing situation too? Oh
That's
fuck.
what I've read. I was not able to confirm. I
Well,
just
if that
I read it and I was just like, oh, that's crazy. And
well,
then
if that is something that's out, because again, there's so much out there, and it's really kind of like, I noticed that this is kind of hard to find on YouTube itself, unless you're looking at bias shit. So you put in like TFT PoE controversy, right, and then all
now
kinds of random shit pops
yeah,
up.
I
Like,
don't that's another problem with this. So many shit got deleted.
oh yeah,
And it's still being deleted about the situation. So unless you was there live and you was able to like follow like minute per minute of what was going on, maybe you may have some information. But right now, if you post anything about this shit, it's gonna get deleted by every single mod and every fucking single forum that's controlled by GGG or any official channel. Even I think TFT is deleting it.
like it's interesting. It's interesting to see how far GGG has gone to really not deal with this problem.
Because I don't think it's a
Like,
problem that they want to handle right now.
I understand, but there's a lot of problems that people don't want to handle. Like, but the fact of the matter is it's getting to the point where, then again, you know, I brought this up earlier before we were recording. There's a very select few people who A, give a shit, and B, who this will affect,
Yeah.
right? If you're someone who hasn't gone and tried to do like mirror services, like this hardly affects me, but I use the TFT often enough to where it does.
We've recommended it on the channel before.
We've recommended it on the channel. Not only that, but I use a lot of like services. There's been a lot of
So
like
do I.
scamming things. I've never been scammed, and it's just like I've
Me
always thought
neither.
it's like, oh, this must be a bigger problem than people are making it, or the opposite rather. Like this is a smaller
To
problem.
me, it always felt like one of those things of like, are you being scammed because you're trying to skirt around the sketchy corners instead of staying in the main avenue? Like, we all know that what we're doing is kind of sketchy to begin with, but there are safer sketchy areas and it is like the sketchy areas. Like,
The thing is from what I've gleaned, it's there are some very interesting decisions being made when it comes to like refunds and things of that nature, where like in we'll just break this like really
well, yeah,
simply.
I read your dissertation.
My dissertation.
Because you had a really interesting point of it, like the refund not being available in the current league and being then offered in standard, which I feel that's just complete bullshit.
Oh yeah, 100. I feel
Like,
like that is, especially from a very high provider level, like and it's not, and again, it's not like it was a mirror item, but the difference in price of something from standard to the current league is very different. you know Currency is flooded into standard every league, therefore the prices of everything goes up, like,
I can understand a
because
payment
it's not worth
plan.
anything,
I can understand a payment plan. I can understand
right?
a time limit. Hey, you got a week to pay this off. But if you
But
are
then again,
exalted, if you are an exalted service provider and you don't have the example you gave was 120 div item or
right,
value. If you don't have 120 divs and you're exalted, I'm sorry.
well, I
That
don't
shit
even
don't
think
make
of
no
it.
fucking sense because the amount of hours you're putting into just the sheer amount of hours that you're putting into fucking TFT and path to become an exalted position, you can make that 120 div.
Yeah,
Especially if you're in a situation where you got to pay someone back because of some issues. And hell, if that's the case, maybe you need to maybe there needs to be some kind of fucking liability insurance kind of situation set up of like, what
I
stops a person
feel
from being able to not be able to pay someone back.
so I feel with TFT having so much of the mirror market economy just in it, right? If you ever wanted a mirror item, where would you go?
Hmm.
No one says the Path of Exile trade Discord.
Yeah. Even on
You
the
know,
like
like
in the in party system or chat or the trade chat, maybe the trade
right.
chat, but
I've never, bro, when I say never, I mean never. Out of all of the time that I've ever played this fucking game, I've never seen someone trying to trade a mirror item in trade chat
yeah,
or even general chat. I've hardly seen people link a mirror level item in trade ever.
that's the pinnacle. That's the pinnacle. Like,
Right. Like
how do you secure a pinnacle item?
it's well with when you are the TFT, right? And again, a lot they corner the market in this. They buy up a lot of the items and they provide the service themselves rather than allowing other people to do things early league. It's interesting, and then like they end up owning like six of the highest mirror tier item of certain genres of item, like bow, for instance. They have like top five or top six bows, and then that whole thing. They have absolutely the currency
So
to
I'm gonna ask a real
to
stupid
secure some
question
of
because
these
I've
big
never had a
trades.
mirror item before. You can only mirror item once,
No,
so you could
you
infinitely
can.
mirror an item.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I have a mirror bow. It's not corrupted. It's not mirrored. So that means you can use a mirror of Kalandra on it, and it duplicates the bow, and one of those bows is mirrored,
Okay, but the original
right? So you
stays
with you,
regular, and you can just continue mirroring it.
right? And then you usually get a fee. So you're now when you're doing this and you're trying to get one of these, you are giving someone, well, in certain situations, like two mirrors, right? One for
To get the
the
item, and then the other one's
actual,
payment.
right. So there's no way that with them owning so many of the top mirror items amongst the economy itself, that they don't have the currency to secure some of these really high value trades and have
But it
like a
the
Discord witness there to do it,
the
like
statement
a
that
middleman.
yeah, the statement that you put in as far as not having 120 div as for the refund and giving it
Right,
to a standard, it's a fucking. It's like saying I don't have US dollars, so I'm gonna give it to you in pesos.
right,
Like
exactly.
it's
100, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but that's past league economy, so I can understand why you have 700 divs in standard laying around. I can understand that
Right.
because if you're playing this much every single
And then
fucking week,
they wouldn't give him the 700 div. They wanted to give him 120 in standard.
nah, bro,
That like
nah.
that's the thing that like really irks me about like some of the accusations with actual like people putting up the receipts on this shit. It's just like it's nutty how there's no real recourse, right? Because it's not like you can call GGG. GGG's is like, yo, you're using a fucking Discord, nigga. Like, what do you want?
You're using a unsanctioned Discord,
Like, and then
and that brings me.
TFT isn't gonna be like, oh, don't worry, we're gonna secure the item to you. Have all they did was send someone over to listen to the situation and then judge wrong.
Yeah, because it's just a dude with another dude who's probably friends with another dude. Like it's just
Right.
like
And
there's no
then and
governing
then
body to this. There's no elections. There's no.
and then the bullshit that the reason why the item got poofed, I don't know, dude. I don't believe
We don't even know half of the people
it.
that actually run TFT.
I well, like no, 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 absolutely not.
Like
But
no, in the
I
sense of like
I
we
I know
have.
names.
Well, yeah, I'm saying we can know
I know
login
Discord
names, but if you really think about it, you there's a Discord that's being run by a group of people that
names.
control a large portion of a game's economy. You don't know how to get into those positions. You don't know how new people get into those positions. Now, yeah, they posted rules, they posted all these things, and they try to be as transparent as possible. Yeah, it's fine. But at the end of the day, the authority that this group has is fairly large, and they came to it fairly quickly in path to success. Right
Well,
now, it's a
not only
beast that
that,
kind of has its own life now.
but now the community is massive.
Yeah,
I want you to understand that, right? So when I started using the TFT in Expedition, I believe it had, I want to say like 200K. And I was like, wow, that's a really big Discord community. And I started using it because, again, for a lot of stuff, dude, it's really nice. It's
it's up to
convenient.
half a
So
mil right now.
yeah. That's what I was about to say. Like it has ballooned to a massive, massive community out of the Path of Exile like
And,
community.
and I'm gonna get to this. I'm gonna get to why that is, but I just want to put that out there. There's a really good reason why.
I am down to hear it now. What's up? What you got?
Because GGG and PAF has systematically failed to manage the just fucking craziness of their loot system. Every league, they add new mechanisms, they add new fucking loot, and they only wait to after 3 or 4 months to think of a way to even come to. They don't. They wait 3 months to even help you manage the loot. Like they'll give you a stash tab afterwards to help manage it if they even keep it around. Like that's just to manage to hold it in your inventory, not even to how you fully utilize it with other players. I don't think they've really failed in like to thinking about how to really interact, how their loot systems really impact the gaming community as a community, not as a single player. It's almost like they're making a single player game that has multiplayer features, but is unintended. Like it's the multiplayer features are unintended. That you have all this loot at your disposal, all these functionalities at your disposal, but the multiplayer is really unintended. It's more like unintended consequences that's there. Yeah, cool. Yeah, whatever. Share. You could trade with each other and all that jazz. But the majority of what TFT has is the the meat of path, the stuff that everyone is trading on on there, the services vouchers, the fucking what do you call those things? Hosting fileways, erodas, the bench crafting, right? Carry, looking for carries, looking for you know, what you call
Buying
those?
challenges. Yeah.
Yeah, like all that stuff. Like that is where the meat of where fucking TFT really provides that avenue to really be able to trade. Where I feel that GGG, although I don't think it was maliciously done, I think they just overlooked it for so long, and they were like, and I honestly feel like they're complicit in the sense that now they know that. Come on, bro, 500,000 members. There's no way GG don't know about these people. There's no way the GG just are not aware about what the fuck TFT is doing. I think they're low key happy that TFT exists because they don't have to take it upon themselves to provide the service.
I actually look at it slightly different. Um, how do I put this into words? I believe, right, when you have a community, the community will make subgroups of things that aren't intended. For instance, right, when you go and you talk about fucking what is that game that me and you I got you to play GTFO? Like that had like a big Discord that was not community driven, that was actually developer driven. But the thing is now notice that it didn't make it better. It's not really all that useful. It's now just a required part of the game. It doesn't have something that drives it forward and people to invest in it. What GGG's,
That game is retarded though,
but I'm using it as a very loose thing.
because
Again, I get to the actual like
why would I need? So TFT is a supplement to GGG and PAF.
Right, but all communities that are formed outside of the game are supplemental.
Yeah, but then that
And
GTFO was
in
more like required. Like
right,
I
but
needed to
that's my whole
join
point.
a
They
Discord in
no
order
no
to
no
be able
no.
to play multiplayer.
But that's my point. Think about it. That's the only real way that it you're getting the comprehensiveness that fucking that has is a forum, a website, or something along those lines. You
But
can't like
I
getting
mean,
that
there's a
into the
multiplayer
game.
lobby like Dark Tide.
Who the fuck wants a hub? Like again, notice how little people use hub worlds.
Not a hub world, but like if I want to play this this map in this difficulty, kind of like how Discord not Discord, sorry, how what's the name does it, then I can just queue up for it and then see four random players. Now, if I have my own friends, I can just join a team and then we could do it together. Like, why the fuck do I have to go outside of the game, go into a Discord just to be able to play your game multiplayer? When you just failed to enter your like code in and enter your own multiplayer functionality in
Uh,
screens.
they already do have their own multiplayer functionality within the game. Whether you like it or not, or whether it's sufficient to your needs or not, is the whole argument here. They already did.
I was under the
There's a
impression that
general chat, a
GTFO when
chain
it came
chat.
out, it didn't have that.
Oh no. It did. It was there,
Okay, so
and
because
you do
from the very
still have
beginning when I
the
played with
in-game
you,
random matchmaking.
you was like going to the GTFO. I was like, wait, what the fuck am I doing all this for?
Right. It was because I think we were trying to find another person, and that's the easiest way because the people that use the Discord are usually people who take the game, slightly more serious and
Got
understand
it.
the game a
Okay,
little
so I
better.
misunderstood. Okay, I
So
thought the
it's
game
one.
itself didn't have a multiplayer. Goddamn,
No, but
little.
you end up getting like complete randoms, and they never understand the thing. Like again,
I
like
mean, it's
so it's
pugs. Yeah, pugs is always pugs.
right. So, but the thing is that's like the whole general chat thing. Do you really want to go? Have you ever like joined a five way from trade? I've seen him advertise like twice.
I mean, at this point, I'm such a TFT troll that I instinctively, when when I'm at that stage and I'm doing these things, I go to TFT. It's much better
Because,
organized. I don't have to feel like I have to.
but now
I don't feel
think
like I'm
about
going to a
this,
flea
right?
market.
But now think about this, right? You have a bunch of gamers that invested in a community outside of the game. That community and the growing of that community drives more incentive to put into the community and drive that community further. That is not something GGG can make.
No,
It really like that's my point. Something like this has to exist for the game to symbiotically exist with it.
but what I'll say to you is this: once upon a time, there was no such thing as PoE trade.
Uh-huh. And
It was a third
remember
party,
how right.
and they saw why they saw something that they needed to take control of this. And what they do, they hired the guys, or the guy from
Right.
PoE
But now we
info.
look but right, but now we look at this and I don't want the people who run the TFT to
No,
be
I'm not
like
saying that they needed to. No, what I'm saying to you is this: part of your responsibility of running a game is when you start seeing that your game and your community has gaps in it, right? Has gaps in it, created solely based on just the mechanics of your game, right? And part of that gap that they had back when what was it? D2 and also D3 when it came out, when it had the auction house, shit was going crazy. You had to like put out that fire, right? When Path was seeing that it was rising in numbers, but you needed a method of trading that wasn't just about posting shit. Right. Even now, a lot of people what people are bitching about is being able to trade offline.
I understand why GGG is taking the stand that they do. I don't agree with their stand.
I
Like
don't have
I
a
understand like
feeling of either
I'm not a
way.
game dev, right? I'm not a game dev. I do understand the convenience factor that people are asking for.
The auction house style, where it's like I'm
Right.
gonna post an item auction. If someone wants to
But
buy it,
I
just buy it off of there.
right, but I also understand the inherent flaws that come with an auction house. I played WoW.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I
Anyone who's playing any kind of MMO with an auction house knows the.
there's downfalls, there's pitfalls to that
I
shit.
mean, there's service fees. Like I remember some of the MMOs I played that had
It turns
service
into a
fees.
gold sink. It yeah, because it turned they well any game that has an auction house is asking you basically to burn a portion of your gathered goods, right? Because you can't have the auction house and be able to just flood the market with items for no recourse. So you have to have something that is able to be like used as payment for that, and that it turns into a gold sink. That's why I think if you look at like PoE2 possibly having gold, that might be the use for it. Like
I've never
if I'm
seen.
drawing some random lines.
I've never seen a fucking game or community use the gold system responsibly. I've seen very little examples of that historically in the gaming community, where you introduce a centralized currency, and all of a sudden that currency has to be used for everything, and all of a sudden it just starts to get out of hand very quickly. Where
Yeah,
one of the reasons why I enjoyed PoE's currency system is because its inherent value is also doubly
a
used.
thing,
Yeah, it's used due to the fact that it's rare, but also because of its actual use of it.
right?
It's not just an empty thing in its own. Doesn't have any other function, but to trade with it.
Right,
No, these items also have its internal use, but they have also inherent value due to their rareness and their functionality behind it. So this is the reason why it works so well. I
right.
don't
But that's why you can't instill an auction house because you'd need a common currency. Well, which
but that's not
in a
true because I can
way,
trade. I can request like this item. I want 50 divs for it. I can ask for that. It's some games. We know
yeah,
some games that have instead of like having like a million gold, you have 10 copper, which is the equivalent of one silver, which is equivalent of
yeah, I
whatever.
hate that.
Right? I hate it too. But what I'm saying is that they have different levels of currency. So if I want to put that my shit is worth 150 divs, then in order to buy it, you need to have the same currency that I'm asking for. If for whatever reason, if I want to sell my fucking item for wisdom scrolls, because I really need wisdom scrolls, I should be allowed to do that. The same way how path trade works, there's no reason why the auction house can't work the same way. Hell, sell me the fucking well, they can't do that. But sell me the fucking stash tab where I can lock
The-
my item in this stash tab that goes straight to the fucking auction house. Sell it to me. That's fine. I mean, you can't do that because it has to be a function. Like it has to be available for everyone, at no cost. But if it's a stash tab, then sell it to me. Whatever. Like that's fine because now I'm able to lock the item in there. Whenever the trade happens, it leaves my inventory, goes into their inventory. Now, again, I don't know. I'm not a developer, so yeah, like you said earlier, I don't know how hard or easy it would be to do this, right? But
well, it's just more. The way I see it, right? At the end of the day, that just means more work on that. I'm pretty sure they would rather put in other places. You know, it's the drawback of anything.
I mean, so if that's the case, then I could understand this ambiguous relationship that they have with TFT, where it's like they know it's happening,
I
they know.
also feel like they can't punish the community for trying to be that.
No, I don't think they have any power.
Right, but the whole thing is again, I don't think they can punish the community because they do. Let's be fucking honest. Like they do have the ability to kind of lock that kind of thing out, and I think that like it's
Well,
just like
they can
anything.
trade, they can ban you from like if they find proof that you're randomly
Right, if you're
using
just not
overlays or some shit.
right, like the and the thing is you have to for these things, at least not for not necessarily for TFT, for other third party tools, they have to have the API.
Hmm.
They can just be like, nah, you guys can't have this shit no more. Like, no one's allowed to touch this other than us. Like, fucking kill WoW
Imagine how
ads.
much. Yeah, imagine how much worse the game would be though.
Right, exactly. But that's the whole point. Like, they do have some power. That's why, like, they're being careful. Like, they can't knee jerk reaction this shit. It actually has to be a very well thought out, like,
But then they stop you from complaining. They stop you from posting. They stop you
well,
from.
I don't even think that that's something other than the fact of allowing these people to continue doing that kind of shit. I don't think that's something that ever stops, right? Like, if you have a moderator somewhere, someday that dude's just gonna flip the fuck out and, oh no, I'm the fucking best moderator. People get their egos caught up in all this shit. Like, I don't know. Like, the way I think of it is, if it happens on the forum and you're noticing that they're
I
they're like
mean,
banning people for stupid shit, like, I
I
don't
think
know,
I've said the
man.
story before. But I know my wife got became a mod of a game and her fucking ego took over real quick.
Yeah, because it's human. It's a human characteristic. Power is something that changes people. And it's funny. It doesn't have to be a lot of power. Like, for like, think about a couple examples that we know of personally that decided to take their tiny bit of power and kind of just strangely overstep with it because they decided that was the way to go. And
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, to me, this is just what
Superficial power. So
people.
yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like, oh yeah, dude, no, I run a small country. Like, no, dude, you fucking run a Discord. Like,
Of like 3 people.
yeah, dude, like, what the fuck was
There's only
going
3 people that
on?
ever logs in. Like, how the fuck are you? Yeah. Well, it's. Uh, I wish there was an easy way to get out of this to solve this shit, but it's not. There's no easy way to really solve this issue.
There
Like
is, but
TFT
people are afraid to do it.
for the foreseeable future is
No,
going
there's a way
to
to solve it. There's a way to solve it. I guarantee you. But people are afraid to do it.
what?
Give it to AI, but the good one.
Oh my gosh.
I'm joking. I assume.
I I took you very fucking serious. Like you're one of those fuck asses. Oh
Nah,
gosh.
bro, nah. I'm
You're
just
like
fucking playing.
Alex and shit. Like just need to fucking go into the goddamn what you call it? Turn my brain into a goddamn robot. That's a solution.
It's like, that's it, bro. But nah,
That's a solution to everything though.
give it to AI. Like,
um
but it's just interesting to see how some people react to these types of things. But the thing is like, this is going to affect trading and how GGG allows trading in the future to
yeah.
happen.
Well, so that to my point, what I was trying to say is that TFT is going to continue being a dominant force when it comes to these things, right?
Well, people, again, there's certain people trying to make that not the case. There's now more trading shit popping up, and there's a lot of people kind of
Yeah,
like
but it's
a
like that's
little
just gets
upset.
sketchy, bro. It's like
Oh,
saying
I know.
after the first
I
strip
know.
club ever existed, and all of a sudden all these other strip clubs showing up, and you're seeing like,
My
okay, it's
but
gonna take some
but
time.
no, but oh yeah, it'll take some time. But my whole point on that is competition is good.
Competition is definitely good. It's gonna get harder and harder
That's,
to keep track of everything, though. Like you saw that website that I have, right? The website that has complements all compl- compilates all like the services.
yeah.
And back when I found that and I shared it with you, even when you say like, wait, what the fuck is all this? This many overlays already? Like even
Yeah.
that, even us, it's hard to keep up with all this shit. It's hard.
Oh yeah, it is. But the thing is one of them will have a super convenient feature or something really neat that happens. But like, competition breeds innovation, and innovation is always a successful
Spoken
thing.
like a true capitalist.
Fuck yeah, bro. I'm sorry. I like, some people hate it. I understand. But
Oh.
the fact of the matter is just because I'm a capitalist doesn't mean I'm heartless. it's just one of those things where
Capitalist
a
with a
lot
heart. Oh my god, I never heard that one before.
like
That's a new one.
it's one of
Gotta
those
get
things
that
where like
money.
you do. Like the fact of the matter is don't
Oh,
get
that's a
me
good
wrong,
segue.
like it
Gotta
too.
press that buttons.
Oh shit. Good job, bro. You caught that.
Get them
Like
buttons.
hit the button.
Get them.
We
I
would
don't.
love you
The
if you for those
Spotify
of you who
have. Let me
did.
check. Let me check. Hold on. I was reading something earlier, and it gave me a I don't want to say well, what's the word I'm looking for? Okay. So YouTube algorithm really depends on not only you subscribing to a channel but also individually liking videos. But
Hmm.
Spotify doesn't necessarily have that. And I don't know if other platforms have that thumb up system. But if you listen to this podcast in any other system other than Spotify, and there is a thumb up or some even a thumb down, honestly,
Just
fucking click
click,
that shit.
hit a button. That's why that's funny. That's why I've always said just hit a button. Doesn't matter what button. I don't care what button. Tell us a thing.
Yeah,
Tell us
interact
anything.
interact with the content. That's what it is. That's how you
That's
help
how
us
you help us out.
secure future episodes. Like because not only do we see that interaction, we see it on our end, but it also tells us that you're listening. It tells us that oh wait, what the fuck is happening? Something's happening over here. Why did like I've sometimes I look at the so we haven't made an episode in what 2 weeks or so because my availability was a bit spotty. Um, but I've been looking at like every now and then I'll glance at the analytics of thing and I'm seeing what people are watching, what people are pulling up, and the fucking thing's been like up and down and fucking just like zigzags all over the fucking place. And I'm saying to myself like, why are people listening to this fucking episode? What the fuck did we say in this episode? Because it's from a producing standpoint and like what we do, right? We
Mhm.
sometimes will sit here and we'll talk randomly about a topic and they'll take us to different directions, right? And then by the time I'm done with it, we fucking post it and then we move on, right? We move on with our lives. We're like, all right, what's new? What's going on? So as a from my point of view, I'm looking at this shit, I'm seeing like 30 people watch this episode. But even though that episode came out like 2 weeks ago, I sit there like, what the fuck did we say in that episode? And it almost triggers me to go listen to it. Almost to the point where it's like, but I start hearing my voice, I'm like, nah, fuck that.
I feel the same way. I don't like. I'm not 100% fond of my own voice.
No, it's just weird. Sitting here just
It's just
watching.
weird.
It's just yeah, listening to an hour and a half of us talking shit. And it makes me go crazy because sometimes I feel like I'm talking to you for real. Because I hear you. I hear you talking. I'm like, and I sometimes want to respond. What the fuck you just said? So, and I don't even get high. So, so, that's why I'm cautious with drugs.
Oh no, man. It's just caution is good in anything, but you know, sometimes caution to the wind. Fuck it.
But man,
Sometimes you
like
have to risk.
this whole thing bums me out because I start to think about Path Two and what are going to be the developers in Path Two's reaction to everything that's happening. What are some of the lessons learned that this Path Two team is like? Yo, we need to change this shit, not this shit, and like, and then what is the result of Path Two going to be like after the end of its development? How much different is it going to be from Path One? That's kind of what bums me out about all this. I
To
feel
be
like
honest,
I don't want them to take it like a super heavy hand in all this and like go crazy with it.
I understand the reservation of it. It's just I feel like it's something that has to be addressed regardless. It's been an elephant in the room for a lot of conversations, and I think it's just better that we deal with it sooner rather than later, so that maybe PoE2 doesn't have to make a decision. They can just follow a good system that happened. That you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like I really think that it doesn't need to be PoE2 that fixes the system or things like that. Like I feel that there is enough time between now and then that we could fucking make this okay next league, or you know what I mean?
How
I don't know.
opposed would you be for a path to depend to for path to have to be reliant on a TFT esque service?
Mm, like as a service, to be honest, bro, I don't really care. Like it's the same thing of like when you play WoW, and the auction house is the only way that you can trade. You use the auction house. I don't like the concept of RMT. I feel like it's like I do and I don't, right? It's I understand that it can bring problems and it ends up turning, the game into something different, but at the same time, like I don't know, dude. I
I gotta
can't tell them
admit,
to do that. It's fucking annoying.
as a free game, I mean, play to wait, what is it called?
Free to play.
Free to play. I think I've said this before, but the one of the biggest like this feels okay is I never see gold spammers.
Right. Well, I do. I see
Why? Because
mirror salesmen.
because you why because you have global open or something.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Well,
sometimes I
that's why
leave it
you don't
open and
see.
I don't see it as much. I don't see it as much, honestly.
Oh, it's actually usually in the trade chats because I do. I'll be honest. I'm one of those people where I also peruse the trade chat as people are doing things because you never know. Some people are banned from the TFT, like
Mm,
so they have to advertise their giga broken item somewhere else, and sometimes it's cheaper because of that. Like
yeah,
so like, every now and again you'll find a deal on
because
there.
I've
It's just like
played
that dude's
subscription
selling.
games. I've played other games where they're in a fucking global, and you can't mute the shit. You can't like fucking selling shit on this website, that website. Is all this bullshit. It's just like what the fuck, and it's annoying.
Yeah,
It's fucking annoying. It creates such a toxic as fucking, and I think that's why I think this whole TFT thing bothers me as much is because we all know in anything that is loved and beloved in human society, there's always an underbelly. The
yep.
underworld always there's a reason why they call it the fucking underworld, right? And I feel like for the longest time, TFT has been trying to stay above that underworld kind of image, not making it as fucking shady as possible. But I think it's getting darker. It's getting darker, and it's
I
really
don't know about like getting darker. It's the same fucking story, bro. You have a bunch of people on fucking that make a thing and they think they're the shit. So they start banning people and they start fucking just saying fuck you, my decision's awesome. Like, I don't know, man. You're not a develop they're not developers. They're not beholden to a company being like, "Hey, yo, you're fucking up our image." Like like, you know what I mean? Like it's different. It's different. But at the
well, I
same
I
time,
don't think
like
legally they can even be a company.
no, of course they couldn't. Well, maybe. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't think so. I think there might be a
That's why
breach of
they're a mafia.
yeah. There might be a breach of
They are a no, they are a mafia, like 100%. But it's just one of those things where at the end of the day, like the difference between a mafia and a company is, some paperwork.
because you can't. I don't think you can make money off their likeness of their digital
No,
content.
that RM no 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 RMT is definitely against the terms of service.
Yeah.
And there's definitely like proof of RMT happening. The problem is I don't think GGG is just going to other sources to find people doing it.
I
They're
think they're
doing it
yeah.
based.
I'm convinced that they turned out blind on purpose.
I know for a fact that they ban people for RMT,
Well, yeah, but I'm saying as far as the
but
stuff
I
that's going
they
on in TFT, they're
only
just like, oh
right,
fuck it, I just don't want to go into that beehive.
right. I think it's one of those things where it's like they want when they ban people for RMT, they usually want to they want to catch it on their servers or on their shit
Mm-hmm.
with their proof.
They want hard proof. They want hard
They want
code.
their proof and shit. Like, because I remember the friend that I know got banned for RMT. He tried to appeal it, and they're just like,
Wait, is this the
no,
same friend that
yes,
we made an episode about?
yeah,
Oh
and
shit!
they were like, no, you bought like two mirrors, like. Like it's funny like I but at the same time like I don't think he bought that from TFT. I don't have proof of where he bought it, so
I'm looking up the episode name, the name of it. Felt like it's been ages ago since we made that one. I'm super curious though. You can continue. Fill in the dead space. What?
fill in
I
the
feel
dead
like I
space.
want. I feel like I want to do this. I want to fucking find this.
So as a little tiny update, I got my Vord Looper up to 46 million DPS.
Oh fucking shit!
um it's not where I want it to be. I want it stronger, but I think I need to buy a 150 div jewel, and I also think I have to buy like a 50 div belt. But
Oof.
yeah, yeah, or I try to get lucky and I try to craft it. But even for that, like I need uh the jewel is actually just gonna maintain that price because it's a watcher's eye.
But you
But
got 4 weeks remaining in the league, roughly.
I know. Oh yeah.
How's trade right now?
It's very slow.
Mm.
Yeah. Like big items are the things that are selling, things that are build enabling. I have an idea of how I can make a grip of fucking currency pretty quick, but I'm lazy. I made my ward looper to be lazy, and this would require like trade and kinds of other shit,
Yeah.
stuff I don't feel like doing.
Episode 19. Published 9/20/23. Dual wielding credit card builds. So if you are wondering what the hell we were just talking about your friend and RNT, we spent a good amount of time, almost an hour, talking about basically some of the shenanigans that are happening within Path and other games that we played historically when it comes to real money trade and all that stuff. So, if you want to check that out? Check that out. Otherwise, we're gonna not mention it.
I'm not gonna mention that shit again.
Um,
Um, but other than that, what you been playing other than Dad Time,
that that simulator.
Dad Simulator?
And then Sick Family Simulator. Um, I've been playing mostly AFK games that are single player mostly that I can just
The
easily
fuck is it?
pause. Just
Oh, I was
just
about to
things that I can
say.
just play, easily pause, walk the fuck away, come back an hour or two later, play another 5 minutes, and then be interrupted again. Um, so basically any kind of single player game.
Okay.
But I haven't really purchased anything new only because try not to spend money like just unneeded because it's
No, I
like
get you. Yeah.
if I spend enough money, chances I'm not going to be able to beat the game. I just don't have the amount of hours available to me. So I've been kind of just pulled up some of the old games of Orion, which ironically I have 2,100 hours in that game.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Yeah, I don't know why I like that game so much, but that's a combination of AFK hours and also regular hours.
Okay.
So it's a
Fair.
combination. In all fairness, I maybe have 500 hours of actual playtime.
Oh, I'm at almost 4,200 on PoE now.
Nice. I'm at 3,000 square.
Nice. Well, now you
Um,
can't log in anymore. No.
wait, what can I log in?
Oh, because now you can't change your hours.
Oh no, that's fine. Uh, yeah. So Rogue Trader, obviously Rogue Trader. Been playing that a lot. You know, something that caught me by surprise Broke Trader is a deep game.
Dude, I realized that when we were starting to play it, and
It's
I
a
was just like,
fucking deep fucking game. And I'm saying to myself, like, man, I thought I would have been finished by now. I'm at 120 hours in this game. And I'm
to be
still not
honest,
even
it's not
half. I
a
don't think
lot.
I've halfway done.
Probably not. Like to me, it's just a lot. It's so much.
It's a
It's
lot.
so, and I'm sitting there and I feel bad because I'm not playing it, and at the same time, I'm like, dude, I don't have the energy to invest in that right now.
Like for a 40K Warhammer, it is rich. Like it is not lazy whatsoever when it comes to it. It is a
And I have,
fuckload of reading,
you know
right?
what? I think that's actually been another problem with it for me is because recently I've been way more into games that allow me to be lazy as fuck when it comes
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
playing it.
I get you. Yeah, I
Like,
get you.
hey, just let me go in there and stab a
Man,
guy.
if I could see a
Like,
fucking if anyone wants to do me a solid and you want to fucking just fucking do put a mod of just voiceover and shit. Just fucking just talk.
oh
No, it
no,
would be
dude.
bad. Do you think so?
Oh, do you realize how much voiceover that would be?
Just fucking.
That's that's
There are
like
very motherfucker. There are so many 40K
right.
passionate fans out there.
I think what you do, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I think what you do is you feed that shit to an AI.
That's fair enough.
I'll
Fair enough.
take honestly, dude, like I'll take some bland ass shit so I don't have to read. Like straight up,
But
bro. I'll take that.
I'm
I'll
starting to
eat
see
that out.
um a resurgence of mods being uploaded. Not that many, but um, just getting some traction. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
like
fucking reading. There's a lot of fucking
but then
reading.
again, like but doing reading and reading out like the lines and trying to get like the general feel for it, like I don't know, bro. That's a lot more than creating a couple assets within the game engine and you know
Yeah,
just playing
yeah,
around that way.
yeah. Well,
That's a
it again. It
huge
takes it takes. It's gonna take a very dedicated team of people.
or one very simple
AI.
AI that
Come on, I don't want to
people that
replace
or,
people's
well
passion with
AI
AI.
subscription, bro. Honestly, like don't get me wrong, you want to fucking voice over that shit and fucking do all that crazy stuff, go right on ahead. I just don't want to read. You know what I mean? Like there's certain shit I'm 100% okay with passing on to AI. Nobody wants to do that shit. Like
uh,
that's what like machinery and shit is for. Like for shit that
it
we
it would
really don't like
it would
doing, where that's way
definitely
too
it would
time
definitely
consuming.
ruin the whole goddamn market.
Well, not really.
It kind of would.
I
The
think it
voice
would.
voice actors are pretty expensive.
No, yeah, but the thing is it becomes the difference of, do you want this fucking AI that's just going to be lazy so you don't have to read, or do you want to pay a voice actor to, for instance, right? There is no way OpenAI, even when it was smart, or any of these general APIs could have done what they did with like Baldur's Gate 3 and like called like any of that level of voice acting. There's no way.
Yeah,
That game's
I mean,
voice
it's
acting
definitely there's definitely
was
qualities to it. I think as the technology becomes more advanced
right,
and
but
cheaper.
for instance, like the AI for voice acting right now is like what it is in like Starborn.
Yeah,
Hello, Wa-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I don't
I'm
think.
cool
See,
with that. Like
that's the problem. I don't think I can enjoy it that way.
I again, like you're just misunderstanding like the level of lazy that I want to be with that. Like, because I would
Uh,
100% take
like
that.
I can literally tell you that out of my 126 hours of Warhammer, at least 60 of those spent reading,
Right. Like, and to be honest, bro, like
and I read fucking
I
slow. So I'm like trying to understand the fucking paragraph. Like, wait, what the fuck? What's going on here? They want to do what? Because it's like it's like reading a dissertation in pirate, right? You gotta like
in
decipher, you gotta
pirate.
decipher what a motherfucker's talking about because they're terms and shit. It's like
Right.
you want to make sure you want to get the not just get the right choice, but get the choice that you for the outcome that you're looking for your character. So you're like, wait, like I accidentally told one time I had to reload a fucking save because I actually told one of my characters to fuck off my ship, and it was my favorite character. And it's just like, wait, I didn't
What?
mean that. What the fuck? So I had to fucking reload the old save, but it was like an hour or two before. I was like, fuck. I had to replay like 2 hours worth of shit. Man, I was so fucking mad. I was so fucking mad. But of that, it's not now that I when I play, I play really fucking slow. I'm just reading
Like
everything.
again, like I've been like playing things like Devil May Cry.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
dude,
a
that just lets me go and stab
oh,
a guy,
yeah, that's a very thumb
shoot a
game.
guy.
Like
Like,
just stab him up, shoot a guy. Like the
it's like
real like fucking.
I
Which
use too much of my
I
brain
told you
when I
that
play
it's
PoE.
like as a button masher in Path, I find Devil May Cry too much of a button masher.
Bro, what ends up happening in my thoughts, right? Because I recently watched a video on Deep Delve, right? Because I could never figure out how people are doing the like 6,000 plus delving. Like, I don't get it, bro. Bro,
Bro,
it's so much math and information and
really?
breakpoints and caps
Oh,
and like it's it's a level of insane to deep delve. Like, bro, I remember the highest DPS build I've ever had was 120 mil. I was watching a video of a dude that is doing like 10 billion. And the fact that a build like mine going in there with the mods that it would take me on my highest damage build 15 to 20 minutes to kill. I don't know.
this is Path.
That like that I would thought like because I remember we were doing some pretty giga juice shit, bro.
That's
We
nothing.
what we were doing is nothing in difficulty level.
Yeah,
In like screen, like what the fucks? Yeah, we were pretty up there. Don't get me wrong, but like for
that's
how
casual end
deadly,
game. Casual end
right?
game.
Casual end game. Delve 5,000 plus, bro? Nah, bro. I watched in like almost a 2 hour video of this dude breaking this shit down to me, and I still don't understand. And
But
it's not
you know
because
what's
it's
worse
like
about it? What's worse about it? Why the fuck would you want to do this?
some people like Delve, and I kind of see it. I think it might have been the fact of exposure therapy, watching this dude explain it all to me, and now I'm like, I
Next is
have to
gonna be
make
the
the
Dove.
decision.
The next is
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
Dove League.
I'm gonna be like, bro, I have to use this delve information. I literally have so much of it now.
Dove League
And
next
I
league.
and now I'm sitting here mad because I'm like, where am I gonna be able to get 15 mirrors of gear? Like,
What you know? What's funny about it is that you can make a lot of money in Dove.
you can, but it's as the person that I was watching, he's just like, I just find delve like kind of fun. It makes money. It's not the best money, like in the game, but it's pretty good money. You can make good like fucking 12, 14 div an hour.
I don't know if you realize that Atlas Tree has a lot of Delve
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
sections.
But like but that's usually for Azerite. It doesn't affect
You
the
need a fuck a
actual.
load of that though.
Not actually, funny enough, not really.
No.
Oh, like
Ah.
you need enough Azerite to keep the cart going. That's really it. But after a point, like you can
Oh, so it's
stack
that
up
there's
like
a way to max out everything.
no.
No. Okay. I figured.
Your build gets to the like Ben, who died on like I think it was like on floor like 18 fucking hundred in a hardcore league. He died to degen, but it's not because of any other reason that after depth like 1200 or like 1300 it becomes like nearly impossible to cap.
Ah.
Like the compounding, like you become like, you know how you like you have your darkness resistance and shit.
Yeah.
your darkness resistance becomes like a negative 1350.
God damn it! It's motherfucking. Sorry,
Yeah, he's being
I
funny.
muted myself. They stopped. I unmuted myself. The moment I unmuted myself, they just woo woo woo. Fuck.
But
Uh,
like you
I
get
mean,
to
I
like
would
a
imagine,
negative.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't go
So what
much
is it? Are
after
you
that.
just your fucking ES pool? That's what you're using, like to fucking just
Mm,
survive?
yes, but no, but yes, kind of.
Because you
Like
gotta just take. You have a split second to get from light to this light source.
no, well, no, because the thing is there's like a base that it can't go below for certain shit. So you have to stay near the cart, and the cart light radius is really really short. But you have to be tanky enough and have enough regen to be able to. I believe the number that the dude was saying, like for like high depths, like you would need around 200k effective no max hit on all of your elemental and around 70 to 80,000 fizz.
So how do you make a character that fucking tanky and also that fucking dodge damage?
Armor stackers.
Mm.
So you convert all of your fizz to elemental, and then you turn your armor to be able to count for partial elemental damage. So what ends up happening is you still end up with like a really high armor value. So you're still mitigating 90%, but you mitigate another 90% because of your your elemental resist as well. So you end up effectively being able to take about 99% reduced damage from hits.
And
But
the
that
one
doesn't
percent
help you
still
with
kills
degen.
you.
Right. Well, no, but it's the degen in those depths is fucking crazy.
Oh.
Like crazy, 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 crazy. The thing that killed Ben, like understand that Ben's character at this point was maybe like 10 to 20% not like that tanky because he was at depth like 16 or 1700 or some shit like that. He died in literally 2 seconds of degen.
Mm.
And like it's nuts. Like that degen at that depth is nutty. And because you can't cap your darkness resistance, because the dude that was showing this off, like he saved up around 150 divs worth of Azurite that he could have spent on, just getting resonators and selling those resonators. He spent around 150 div of those on uh his darkness resistance and was barely able to get to minus 180.
Okay.
But the thing is there's also the darkness cap. You're because there's a minus res cap, and the darkness resistance caps like a normal resist. So it has a cap of minus 200%. So at a certain point, it doesn't really matter if it's 1300% or not. So they don't even bother. Like so it's just it's interesting. And then I learned, holy shit. I'm sorry for everybody here just hearing me fucking rant about this shit, but I feel so happy I have someone to like let this out on. There is an HP cap in the game for enemies and bosses.
Oh, interesting.
You
So
want to know what
after
that H
so the percentage no longer um.
there's a point where
Affects.
things stop scaling health, yeah. And
Oh.
then but once you hit that point, rare monsters with the arch nemesis mods can be 100% harder to kill than bosses. There's a an anecdotal story I heard of this dude that has, like I said, like 10 billion fucking damage per second, having to take around 8 or 9 minutes killing a rare mob,
The fuck.
right? Like because it was crit resistant and it had like other shit. Like it's just it's dumb. It's dumb. It's crazy. And like I think it's like the I think it was like 2.17 billion base HP was the cap.
Sorry, the sound's coming out my PC. I don't know where the fuck they're coming out from.
Like
Yeah,
I
that
can't
sounds.
remember how many. Like I can't remember all the numbers he spit, but like it's just like Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, that sounds like something I don't want to fucking know.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
when
yeah.
when
I
it
had
gets
to.
that starts getting that fucking complicated, I start tuning shit out. Like, yo, I'm here to fucking play. This is one of the reasons why I was so worried about Path for the most part, which I think we should wrap up this episode. But like when the game starts becoming a fucking job to understand and to be able to become entertained by it, I start drawing the fucking line there. Like it's like
To be honest, bro, the fact that this game even has something I didn't know at 4100 hours is something that excites me.
it. No, it. I think the depth of the game is great, right? That depth that you either choose to, I mean, no pun intended, right? Delve into it. Um, but I think for me, as far as entertainment value, like once I start seeing there's a very thin line between like entertainment value and then fucking work. Like once start feeling that level of like, this is feeling like work now, I start to like my mind starts to slowly like, all right, I'm fucking done here. Like it's just naturally the fact that it happens to me. It's not even consciously that I do it. It's just start tuning shit out.
I
I did
guess
want to
fair.
ask you. I wanted to ask you. What are your thoughts on the last epic before we wrap up? It being released.
It's released.
Yeah, it's the on the December. I mean, not December. The fuck am I saying?
You know what
February.
I think? You know what I think? I think I'm glad that it's going to be released, and I think that tells me that we got to do an episode.
Us on just that.
And y'all should hit buttons to find out what I think.
Oh,
What we will
fucking look at that segue. Fucking
Oh,
play that
bro,
fucking outro. Let's do it.
buttons.